So I'm Chantal, and this is my husband Jaysen, our son Hunter, and little baby girl Carolyn. And we live in Tsawwassen, and we go to the REACH Society in Ladner. So Hunter was a pretty regular pregnancy. We didn't have any kind of indication of any kind of trouble when I was pregnant. And then when I went into labor, it was actually a very long and quite intense labor. There's quite a few problems, I guess, as he was being born. And then when he was born and not breathing. So he unfortunately was rushed away really quickly and given some kind of assistance medically to help him start breathing. Difficulties didn't stop actually when we got home from the hospital. When Hunter was 11 days old, he stopped breathing in the middle of the night. We had to phone 911 and he was rushed to the hospital and recovered, but that sort of started the process of pediatricians paying attention to him, doing some different tests and scans, trying to figure out what exactly was going on. And so we were recommended to the REACH Society pretty early on by our pediatrician, and Hunter started attending when he was about 6 months old. So we had a lot of challenges, but because he was our firstborn, we didn't really know what was normal, what wasn't normal. Our lifestyle was just whatever we thought it was. And then through working with therapists and doctors and then the people from REACH, we started to realize that there were certain areas that Hunter would need some support in. The biggest thing that we learned when we started attending REACH was that Hunter was struggling with his gross motor skills. So ever since he was born, he was slow to be able to hold his head up. He was reluctant to start rolling over. It took him a very long time to become mobile. So through REACH, we sort of recognized that there were milestones that Hunter just wasn't hitting at the normal age marks. So I believe when we were first referred to REACH, the first people that we saw were IDP, which was the Infant Development Program. And they've really helped us more specifically in the area of communication and development with fine motor skills. Hunter started physiotherapy really early, like I said, when he was 6 months old. So at first it was just being able to roll over in both directions. And then it became encouraging him how to crawl, because Hunter really didn't start crawling, and by crawling I mean like dragging himself across the floor, until he was about 18 months old. So it took him quite a long time to be comfortable to do that. And we would do lots of different activities with physiotherapy, specifically Lauren, our physiotherapist. Hi, Woody. And then he slowly progressed to do even more activities. So for example, practicing balance, like standing on one leg. And then recently he's been working on walking on a balance beam and carrying around heavier and heavier objects so that he can just get a little bit more confident and build up a little bit more muscle strength. There's a ton of stuff that we take back home from physiotherapy. We go probably once a week to physiotherapy and IDP, either in combination or we switch back and forth. And I would say almost every time we go, we come back with an activity to practice or an activity to work on. One of the memorable breakthrough moments that we had was at physiotherapy, because Hunter went from bum scooching across the ground when he wanted to get somewhere, so sitting cross-legged and just kind of shuffling himself, to toddling around. He skipped that crawling stage, which doesn't seem like it would be that important, but it's actually a very fundamental skill that children need to practice. And we were at a session just like any other session, and our physiotherapist Lauren brought out this big long tunnel that you see kids play with sometimes. And then Megan, our IDP consult, was at the other end of the tunnel, and she brought out some little plastic farm animals. And Hunter, without any prompting, just went, I'm gonna get those animals. And he crawled through that tunnel with the perfect, left and right hand motions, and we were all just so excited that the three of us just were celebrating so much in that room. I don't think Hunter had any idea why it was so exciting. He just wanted the farm animals, but it was a really great moment to realized that all of this work that we'd been coming together to do was making an impact for him. My vision for Hunter's future, our vision for Hunter's future, is just to see him happy and able to achieve the activities that he wants to and be able to play with his peers the way that he wants to. And he might not be the fastest on the softball team, and he might not be, the captain of the hockey team, but if he wants to be able to participate in something, that he can do it, and that he doesn't have to second guess himself, and that he has the confidence in order to go ahead and participate and just be a kid. REACH has made a huge difference in our lives because it is a group of people who I can trust and who are professional and know the latest and best information possible in order to help Hunter. They're people who know him by first name. They've been with us for almost his entire life, and they're just as invested in seeing him succeed as we are. And that to me is priceless. Having gone through a system of countless doctors and nurses and surgeries who are professional in care, but we're almost like a number, right? You go in, they do something, and then we're sent on our way. They read the chart, 5 minutes before we go in there. Whereas I know that the people that we work with, when I see Lauren, our physiotherapist, or Megan, our IDP consultant, they'll say things to me like, I was doing this reading, or I went to this group and I heard about something that I think would apply to Hunter. And they're just so committed to what they do. And they're just like a gift, really. I can't believe that there's such a program that exists in our society that we were so lucky to stumble upon, because before we had Hunter, I didn't even know that it was around. And I'm so grateful that it's, 15 minutes down the road and available to us.